Let me start with a pretty big statement. A simple observation can, quite literally, save millions of lives. And in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how that happens, all thanks to the incredible power of medical research.
So how does that actually work? I mean, how can something as small as just noticing something, a little detail in the world around you, lead to a global, life-saving breakthrough? It sounds kind of impossible, right?
Well, the secret is right here. It happens when that little spark of curiosity, that simple observation, isn't just forgotten. Instead, it becomes the first crucial step, the starting point for a serious scientific process. That's the bridge. That's how you get from a random fact to a medical miracle.
All right, let's dive into it. We're calling this section Medicine's Backbone for a reason. Because that's truly what research is. It's the entire support system that lets medicine grow from guesswork and assumptions to something built on solid, reliable evidence.
So when we use the term medical research, what are we really talking about? Well, it's this, a formal scientific process. It's all about systematically understanding what makes us sick, finding brand new ways to treat people, and just making patient care better for all of us. It's not about a single aha moment. It's about the method. And its importance is, well, it's huge. It's not just one thing. Think about it. Research helps us figure out the root causes of diseases, so we're not just fighting symptoms. It's the engine that literally develops the medicines and vaccines that keep us safe. It helps us get better at diagnosing problems earlier, and it makes sure your doctor's advice is based on solid evidence, not just old habits. Heck, it even helps governments create smarter health policies for everyone.
Now, to really bring this all to life, we're going to look at one of the greatest stories in the history of medicine, the story of smallpox. This is the perfect example of research in action.
First, we've got to set the scene. It's honestly impossible to overstate how terrifying smallpox was. This wasn't just some nasty bug. It was a global monster, a plague that killed millions upon millions of people all over the world. That was the enemy we were facing. So picture this. The year is 1796. Our scientist is a man named Edward Jenner. And most importantly, there's a clue, a simple observation. He noticed that milkmaids who often caught a really mild disease called cowpox from cows almost never seemed to get the deadly smallpox. Was it just a weird coincidence? Or was it something more?
And that one simple question, is it something more, is what kicks off this whole incredible journey. This is where we go from a casual observation to total eradication. It's where Jenner puts the scientific method into practice, and believe me, the results changed the world. And you can see the whole process right here. Step 1, that careful observation about the milkmaids. Step 2, he forms a hypothesis, a scientific guess, that maybe getting cowpox actually protects you from smallpox. Step 3, the controlled experiment, and this was the really brave part. He tested his idea by giving a young boy cowpox on purpose. And then finally, step 4, the evidence. When that same boy was later exposed to smallpox, he didn't get sick. It worked. Jenner had his proof.
You know, that single experiment back in 1796, it was like lighting a fuse. Over the next century, the idea of vaccination slowly but surely spread across the entire globe. It wasn't an overnight fix, but the scientific groundwork was there. And this whole journey, this incredible fight that spanned generations, it all leads to one final amazing moment. 1980. Just let that sink in for a second. That's the year the World Health Organization declared that smallpox was officially gone, eradicated, wiped off the face of the planet. A disease that killed millions, gone forever, all because a process started with one person just noticing something. It's truly one of humanity's greatest achievements.
So you might be thinking, okay, great history lesson, but why does a story from 1796 still matter so much today? Well, it's because the principles Jenner used are the exact same ones we use today to fight everything from cancer to new viruses. This story isn't just history, it's the blueprint. I mean, the impact was just staggering. Jenner's work didn't just solve the smallpox problem, it practically gave birth to entire new fields of science. The very ideas of immunology and vaccination, the stuff that protects us from so many diseases today, it all grew from the seeds he planted with that one experiment.
This right here shows you the incredible shift that research caused. Before, so much of medicine was based on assumptions, on stories, on just plain luck. But afterward, it shifted to a world built on evidence, on data, and on prevention. It's the fundamental move from just hoping to actually knowing. So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. Research isn't just some optional extra in medicine. It's not a nice to have. It is the absolute backbone. It's the structure holding up everything we know about staying healthy.
And that leaves us with one last thought. We conquered smallpox, but we've got plenty of new challenges today. The process Jenner used, observation leading to research, is still our best weapon. So the real question is, what modern medical puzzle will be solved by the next person who just notices something? And who's going to be the next Jenner?